Hi, second graders. Welcome to your TV classroom. Today is Thursday, January 7th, and it's a great day. Before we begin learning today, let's go ahead and take some inventory on our feelings and our emotions, and let's check in with our zones. How am I feeling today? You know, Gus, I am in the green zone today. You know how you have those days where just everything is going well? I'm having one of those days today. I slept really well last night. My lessons are going really well. Oliver this morning, he came and snuggled in bed with me and said, "Wahoo, Mama." It was very cute. I need to make sure that I get some pictures of Oliver in some of my PowerPoints so you guys can see him. So, now, just because I'm having a great day doesn't mean you're having a great day. You might be, or maybe this isn't the best day. So what zone are you in today? If you're not having a great day or you're feeling in the red, yellow, or blue zone, sorry that you're having a rough day today. That can be really hard. And it's important that we use some of our strategies to get as close to green as we can for learning. So as we're doing our What's Missing Thursday today, if you want to take that time to do some deep breathing and some chilly hugs and get focused for learning, you're welcome to do so. And I will let you know when the main lesson starts. But if you're feeling ready to learn right now, you can, yes, Mr. Kevin?
I'll take a chilly hug and deep breathing.
Okay, Mr. Kevin's going to take chilly hug and deep breathing, so I better not do anything crazy, otherwise it's not going to be videoed. Ooh, I think he'll be okay. So, we're going to do that while we do our What's Missing Thursday, and then when it's time for our lesson, I'll let you know that it's time to come back if you need to take that time. But those of you who are ready, let's do a What's Missing Thursday. So, when we see problems like this, you can go, "Oh no, I don't. Well, how do I figure that out? It doesn't look like it." But you don't have to think that way. Yes, there is something we don't know. The thing we don't know is right here, right? We don't know that thing, but that's okay because guess what? There are things we do know. What do we know here? We have 26 and we have 13. What is 26? Think about our number bond. What is 26? 26 is our whole, and 13 is one of our parts. And what do you know about wholes and parts when it comes to adding and fact families? Yeah, how do you solve when you're trying to find a missing part? You can either do an open number line or subtract. Go ahead and do one of those strategies and see what you come up with. Okay, I'm going to do open number line. 13 to 20 is 7, and 20 to 26 is 6, and 7 and 6 is 13. So 26 minus 13 equals 13. Now to check my thinking, I'm going to put 13 and 13 together, and I get 26. See, we can do it.
Ding, ding, ding.
We have to think about what we do know to figure out what we don't know. Okay, what do we know? This one looks different. Yeah, we don't know the whole, do we? But what do we know? Friends, when we're looking at a number bond and we know the two parts, how do we find the whole? You put the two parts together. What is 10 plus 16? It's 26. Ta-da! Problem solved. Okay, thinking about our whole and our part and our part. 28 minus something equals 12. What do we know? We know the whole and we know a part. We're trying to find the other part. How do we do that in math? Yeah, you might subtract 28 minus 12 if that was a strategy that's efficient for you. Or maybe you need to draw a picture and do 28 minus 12 and cross off 10s and 1s. Or maybe you could do an open number line. Whatever strategy is efficient for you that you can do mentally in your brain for this, that's the strategy I want you to use. Go ahead, find what is 28 minus 12. Yes, it's 16. How can we check that work? If we put 16 and 12 together, we get 28. Awesome job, friends. What do we know? We know a part and a part. What do we not know? We don't know the whole. How do we find a whole? We put the parts together. What's 15 plus 8? It's 23. How did you know it was 23? Yeah, you can take the 8 and you can break it up into 5 and 3. 15 plus 5 is 20 and 3 more is 23. Last one. What do we know? We know 2 parts. What are you going to do? Put them together. What is 15 plus 6? I'll give you a hint. It's 21. See how being able to decompose those parts is so important? We did that earlier in the school year. Being able to take numbers and pull them apart and use them and be flexible is one of the most important strategies you can learn in elementary school. So keep practicing it. Now, if you were giving yourself a chilly hug or taking deep breaths and you were sitting here and not engaging in the What's Missing Thursday, now's the time to tune in, okay? So now it's time for our main lesson. Today, we're learning to tell time. Now, some kids right now are going, yes! And other kids are going, nope, nope, don't want to do it. Because it can be hard, especially when you're on what we call an analog clock. That's the old-fashioned kind of clock like this, but you notice mine has colors on it. Well, I'm going to show you why mine has colors on it, and it's going to help you understand it. Uh-oh, our camera's not in focus. I'm going to get it in focus. Do. Come on, camera. You can do it. Oh, come on. There it goes. I think we've done it. Oh. Ta-da! We did it! Hooray! So, let's look at our first problem. Before we use our clock, we're going to practice counting by 5s. Why do you think we're going to practice counting by 5s? What was that, Gus? Oh, it might have something to do with the clock? It does. Pebble? Oh, because each of these numbers means 5 minutes has passed. So this has been 5 minutes. And then, so let's count by 5s and we're going to do it on the clock. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now, why can I get to 60 counting by 5s? On a clock. Yeah, there's 12 groups of 5, and that makes a total of 60. So 5, 10, 15, 20. What comes next? 25, 30, 35. What's next? 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Ta-da! All right. In the afternoon, Lucy starts her piano lesson at the time shown on the clock. What time does the clock show? So I'm going to make my clock show this time as well. How do you use a clock to tell time? It doesn't just tell me. I have to do some thinking. Now, the first thing we do is we figure out the hour. This hand is not pointing at a number, but I want to show you something. Do you notice that right here is a color? Do you see that? And anytime this hand is anywhere in this light color, it's at the 4 o'clock hour. So anytime this hour hand is in this color, it's in the 4 o'clock hour. When it moves to the orange, now it's in the 5 o'clock hour. Anytime it's here in the orange, it's in the 5 o'clock hour. So, looking at our clock, what hour are we in? Are we in the 4 o'clock hour? Or are we in the 5 o'clock hour? Which one are we in? We're in the 4 o'clock hour. Go ahead, write 4 and then a colon. And then what minute is it on? How do we figure that out? What do we do? Oh, we count by 5s. Here we go. Are you ready? 5, 10, 30. So it is 4:30. Now, here's an extra question, and one you're going to have to do in second grade as we keep learning about telling time. Is this 4:30 in the morning, a.m., or 4:30 in the afternoon, p.m.? What is Lucy doing right now? A piano lesson. Would you have a piano lesson at 4:30 in the morning? Probably not. It's pretty early to have a piano lesson. Now, maybe that's someone's schedule, but that's not the common schedule. When would be the more common time to have a piano lesson? Yeah, after school, 4:30 in the afternoon. Do you know how to write afternoon in time? It's p.m. 4:30 p.m. because my hour hand is in the 4 o'clock hour and my minute hand is pointing to 30 minutes on the clock. So there's been 4 hours and 30 minutes of our afternoon that have passed, and that's what time we're on. Okay. So we've just done that. We've done that. So now we are going to practice telling some time. You ready? Okay. Mr. Kevin, we can actually just make the clock big because I'm not using the PowerPoint right now. So, Gus, what time should I do? Okay. Ooh, this is when it gets tricky. These are the trickiest ones for kids. Just take a look at my clock. First, we do the hour, then we do the minutes, and then we decide what time of day it is. So, it's this time on the clock, and I am eating popcorn, watching a movie with my family. What time do you think it is? What time of day? Where's our hour hand? It's the shorter hand, it's the hour hand. Where is that hour hand on my clock? Is it in the pink in the 8 o'clock hour? Or is it in the orange in the 9 o'clock hour? Take a look. It's still in the pink. Even though it's really close to that 9, it is still in the pink area, which means it's still in the 8 o'clock hour. So it is 8. And then how many minutes have passed in that hour? We've hit the 8 o'clock hour and some time has passed. How many minutes have passed in the 8 o'clock hour? Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. We have already gone through 55 minutes in the 8 o'clock hour. That's why this hour hand moves. So it's 8:55, but when? In the morning or in the evening if I'm watching a movie eating popcorn with my family? Now, you might eat popcorn and watch a movie at 8:55 in the morning, but I don't think I've ever eaten popcorn and watched a movie at 8:55 in the morning. Have you? Normally, that's an activity we do in the evening. So, is it going to be a.m. or p.m.? Which one tells us the evening? Yeah, p.m. p.m. means evening or after 12 o'clock. a.m. means morning or after 12 o'clock a.m. So 12 o'clock a.m. morning, it's a.m. all the way until 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it's p.m. till 12 o'clock in the morning, and then a.m. until 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and it just goes around and around in a circle. And it shows the time that has passed during the a.m. or p.m. hours. Pretty cool, huh? But that makes it hard to tell. So let's practice another one. Oh, Mr. Kevin, what should we do? What should you be doing? You tell us. What are you doing right now in our hypothetical world that I'm going to give a time for? What's something Mr. Kevin likes to do?
Well, usually at this time of the morning, I'm having a mid-morning snack.
Oh, so having a snack, maybe some berries or some veggies or like a protein bar.
Yeah.
So having a morning snack. Okay, so it is this time. Go ahead, friends, write on your board, what time do you see on our clock? What time do you see? Okay, this is the time Mr. Kevin's having a mid-morning snack. That's a clue as to if it's AM or PM. What hour is he in? Look at our hand. Is he in the 10 o'clock hour or the 11 o'clock hour? 10 o'clock hour, he's in the pink. 10 o'clock hour. And how many minutes have passed in the 10 o'clock hour? 5, 10, yes, 15. So it's 10:15 in the morning, which is what? AM or PM? It's AM. Awesome job. All right, we'll do one more. Okay, here is mine. This one is for Oliver. This is the time Oliver is finishing his bath and getting ready to go to bed. What time is it? Oliver, we've just finished his bath. He's got his pajamas on. He's crawling into bed, and we're going to read a book before he goes to sleep. What time is on my clock? What hour are we in? Are we in the 7 o'clock hour shading? That's this orange. Or are we in the 8 o'clock hour? That's the pink right here. We're in the orange, which means we're in the 7 o'clock hour. Excellent. And how many minutes have passed in the 7 o'clock hour? Let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Now, is it AM or PM if Oliver has taken a bath, is reading a book, and getting ready to go to bed for the night? It's PM. It's at night. Great job, second graders. I want to show you what your assignment's going to be today. You're going to have a chart like this on your workbook page, and it's going to have words, and then you're going to tell what it means in your own wording, and then give an example. And it's going to be words like hour, minute, hour hand, minute hand, AM, and PM, all things we talked about today. And then you're also going to do page 276, giving a go at telling time on these clocks. All right, great job today. Did we identify the hour and minute hand on the analog clock? We did. Did we tell the hour? You did, nice job. Did we tell the minute? How did we tell the hour? Yeah, we looked at what color hour it was in. How did we tell the minute? By counting by fives. Did we use the time to answer questions? We did. So today you started learning how to tell time. Nice job, second graders. Now before I go, I want to remind you the things you'll need for your lesson with Miss Oslin. You will need your ELA packet, your pencil, and your learning buddy. Now, you're going to get to have a break. And I'm not sure what kind of break it is, but I have a feeling it's another fun PE break. You're going to have a break, and then you're going to have a lesson with Miss Oslin. Have a great time on your PE break, a wonderful time with Miss Oslin, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, second graders. Bye.
I'm Denise Dillenbeck, concertmaster of the Northwest Sinfonietta, and I'm here to share a moment of music and breath with you today. Let's take a moment to get centered together before we listen to music. Put one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Now, breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold your breath at the top for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that together one more time. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. We are living through turbulent times. If you sometimes feel the sadness during all the challenges of the school year, you are not alone. When I'm sad, I turn to music to give my heart a lift. This piece by J.S. Bach is one of the happiest pieces I know. I first heard it on Sesame Street when I was a little girl, and it made me want to play the violin. It's called Gavotte on Rondo, and it's a dance music from Bach's time. If I were to think of words to describe how this music makes me feel, I would say jaunty and joyous. Now you try to think of a word that describes the feeling of the music while I play it for you. If you have room around you, you can also try making your own dance to this music. See what feels right to you.
Hi, second graders. Welcome back from your break. I hope you had the opportunity to take care of your needs and also gather the materials that you will need for our lesson today, which are, as Mrs. Wally said, your learning buddy, your ELA packet, and a pencil. If you haven't gathered those, go ahead and take a moment and do it now. Now let's remind ourselves of some of the really important thinking that we've been doing around letter writing. We've been paying attention to the features of letters and how there are informal and formal letters, and there are different reasons to write a letter. Could you write a letter to maintain a relationship, to persuade someone to do something or give you something, to change someone's mind? Today we're going to learn how writers use letters to seek information, make readers think, and get a response. And I want to tell you that letters are just like any conversation that you would have. It's just on paper. It's a conversation. And you might pay attention when you're talking with someone, having a conversation, you say something, and then the other person says something, and then you say something. It's called an exchange. And it goes on and on and on. And we hope that our letters do the same thing. I write a letter to someone, and they write me back. and then I write them back, and then they write me back, just like a conversation, but on paper. So today, again, we're going to learn how those exchanges, those conversation can be used to seek information, to make readers think, and to get a response. In your ELA packet on page 16, you will find this graphic organizer called Why Ask Questions. I want you to get this out in front of you right now.
Now, you look ready. Let's review. Why would you ask a question in a letter? It could be to give characters voices, to learn more about who the characters are as people, to encourage a response, to be conversational, like we talked about, to get news, that's to seek information, to invite or make arrangements, to reflect or recall, to request something, and to make readers stop and think. Now, why else would you ask questions in a letter? Let's see if we can add to this list. Take some think time. Now take a moment to turn and tell your learning buddy why you would ask questions in a letter. Gus, I might ask questions in a letter to get my readers' attention because it kind of using a different type of sentence, a question, would break up the flow of the letter and it might make them go, oh, Mrs. Oslin asked me something. Now, you might have come up with something different. On your graphic organizer, Why Ask Questions, I want you to, next to some of those bullets underneath, write what you thought why you would ask questions. So I thought maybe to get readers' attention or to change the reader's mind about something. You write whatever it is you shared with your learning buddy about why you would ask questions in a letter. Go ahead. Now, you may not have had enough time to write down all of your ideas. When you go off to do your independent work, you can continue to add to this list about why you would ask questions. We are going to get back into the book, I Want a New Room by Karen Kaufman Orloff, illustrated by David Catrow. And you might remember, it's been a while since we've read this book, but it is a style of writing called epistolary writing, where it tells a story using letters. And the story that Karen Kaufman Orloff tells is about a character, Alex, and Alex is writing letters to his parents because they have a new baby sister. He has a new baby sister, Annie, and he's now having to share a room with his baby brother, Ethan, because Annie needs her own room. And what he's doing is writing letters to his parents, trying to convince them to give him his own room. And we're going to think about the questions that they're asking each other in these letters. We're only going to read 2. And we're going to think about, are they to seek information? Are they to encourage a response? What do you think? Let's read the first letter. Dear Mom, I know you think I should share a room with Ethan now that we have baby Annie, but here's why I shouldn't. When Ethan sleeps, he sounds like the cat coughing up fur balls. Why can't you move Annie in with you and give me my room back? Signed, your very tired son, Alex. Now, the question, this'll work. The question that is being asked is, why can't you move Annie in with you and give me my room back? Now, what is the purpose of that question? Is it to encourage a response? Could be. Is it to seek information? I think it is. And you'll also notice that he's written this letter very much like he would have a conversation with his mother, just like we learned that letters can do. Now, at the very end of the book, there's another letter, and it has a question, but it's a very different type of request. Dear Ethan, do you want to play with me in my treehouse? Love, your big brother, Alex. Now, you might remember that through a series of exchanges of letters between Alex and his dad agrees to build him a treehouse. And then Alex goes in and plays in his treehouse, and he realizes that he's lonely by himself in his treehouse. So then he writes this letter. So let's reread it now that we have some context, reminding ourselves what was happening in the story. Dear Ethan, do you want to play with me in my treehouse? Love, your big brother, Alex. Now, what is the purpose of that question? Take some think time. Is it to encourage a response? Is it to seek information? Is it to make the reader think? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you think the purpose of that question is. Gus, I think it is to encourage a response. And going back to our list, why ask questions? It's also to invite or make arrangements, because Alex is inviting Ethan into his treehouse. Now, you might have had a different idea, and that is okay, because we are learning all about why we use questions in letters. And I'm going to model this for you in my writer's notebook. And then your independent work is to write your own letter to someone using questions to seek information, to make your reader think, or to get news, invite someone, change their mind. Now, in my writer's notebook, I have today's date, and it's a new year, so it's not 2020 anymore, it's 2021, so I made that little mistake. Now, as we write our letter, we're going to keep in mind all the learning that we've done around letters, that they start with a date, that they have a greeting, that they use different language depending on if it's formal or informal, that you sign the letter, say who it's from at the end, and we're going to focus also on asking questions in our letter. So I was thinking about our special guests that we had in our TV classroom yesterday, Quabi and Simon from the Peace Bus. And I was thinking that we could write them a letter, I could write them a letter, and I'm going to ask questions, but I'm wondering, what would the purpose of my questions be? To seek information? To encourage a response? Or to make my reader think? Now, I'm going to start my letter, and as I start with my greeting, I want you to do some thinking about what questions I could ask and what the purpose of those questions are. Now, oftentimes when I begin a letter, I could, to encourage a response back, ask a question that sounds like, how are you? What have you been doing lately? What other questions could I ask to encourage a response that would be like a conversation? So think about when you haven't seen someone for a little while and you see them again, how do you begin the conversation? You usually start by saying, hi, how are you? So I'm going to start my letter in that same way. I might ask, what have you been doing since visiting us at TV Classroom? Because by the time they get this, it will have been a couple days. Now, so far, the two questions that I've asked, how are you and what have you been doing since visiting us at TV Classroom, are to encourage a response, because I do want them to write back, and I'm seeking information. I want to know how they are and what they've been doing. Now, you might remember that we learned about writing thank you letters. When someone does something for you, it's a good practice to write back and say, thank you. So I'm going to include that. Thank you for visiting us at our TV Classroom. And I'm going to add more to that. We really enjoyed the song and the stories about peace that you told and friendship. Now, going back to our list, why ask questions? I see the to invite or make arrangements. And I wonder if I could ask a question of Kwabi and Simon to see if they would want to come back to our TV Classroom and tell us another story. I could invite them. What question might that sound like? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what the question might sound like if I were to invite Kwabi and Simon back to our TV Classroom to tell us another story. Gus, I think my question could sound like, would you want to come back to our TV Classroom and tell us another story? That would be inviting them back. It's also encouraging a response. Ready? Here we go. Now, we've asked questions to seek information. We asked questions to encourage a response. Did we ask questions to make our reader think? Well, maybe Kwabi and Simon would think about, would they like to come back to our TV Classroom? I sure hope so. So now at the end of our friendly letter, also a thank you letter, we need to write our salutation. We need to end it with a greeting and say who it's from. So how should I sign this letter? It's an informally letter, informal letter. So I won't sign it like formally yours or anything like that. But I want something better than just from. What do you think? Oh, I heard some of you say I could sign it in peace and friendship. I like that. Now you'll notice some of the words in my salutation are capitalized. And then in peace and friendship, my name. Also notice as I wrote my letter, I skipped lines. That's because when I go back and reread my letter, if I have any changes, edits, or revisions that I need to make, if I want to add something to make it better or fix mistakes, I have space between where I can do that. So your independent work today is going to be to write your own letter to someone, asking questions, and thinking about what is the purpose of your question. Is it to seek information, to make readers think, or to get a response? So think about that. That's what we learned about today as you're doing your independent writing today. Make sure you use powerful word patterns to help you read and write words today. And practice your troublemaker words. If there's a word while you're independently reading your books today that's coming up and giving you trouble, go through the Tackle a Word chart to help you so that that word no longer gives you trouble. You're also going to practice reading a page in your SnapWords book, like always, so that you can read and write these words in a snap. You can read your SnapWords book loud like a monster, scary like a witch, squeaky like a mouse, whisper like a secret. Or if you invent your own and you're okay with it and your adult's okay with it, they can record you reading your page and you can send it to us here at TV Classroom. There's our email address, and we will share your idea with the other second graders in Tacoma. You could also send us a letter practicing all of your letter writing skills. Write us a letter and ask us questions. We will respond. You could also write your letter just like I did and send it in the mail to us. And Mr. Kevin will put up our mailing address at the end of the episode. Or if you tell your teacher that you're watching these shows, we will send you an envelope that already has our address and a stamp on it, and you can put your letter in there and send it to us. On Wednesday, January 20th, we have a Tacoma educator and historian, Stephen Dunkelberger, who will be not here, out in Tacoma, in your neighborhood, teaching you all about the history of your neighborhood, which I'm really excited to learn about the history in my own backyard. Now, second graders, it's time for our affirmation. This is where we pause and think good, positive thoughts about ourselves and think about the good that's in all of us. So today our affirmation is, I am my best version of myself. Say that with me. I am my best version of myself. Second graders, thank you so much for reading and thinking and writing with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.